All right, we're going to kick this off. Thank you guys all for joining. I'm Heather Wheeler, and I'm the co-founder of the crazycouponlady.com. No. And I'm just really thrilled to be sharing the stage today with all of these great women. KCL is a female-founded, female-owned company. About 80% of our employees and leadership team and our audience are female or female adjacent. So really excited for the topic and everything we're going to be talking about. So today we have Jeanelle from Bugaboo, Donna from Tarte, Tania from Elvie, and Jenifer from Everly Health. So I'm going to kick it to you guys. Donna, let's start with you and just give us a quick introduction.
Hi, I'm Donna Kirkland, Vice President of Global Marketing and Events at Tarte Cosmetics. Our brand is about creating products that are high performing with good for you ingredients. But at our core, there are 4 guiding principles to our brand, and it's about kindness and giving back, paying it forward, and lifting others up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jeanelle Teves. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at Bugaboo. My career theme has been building and transforming female brands. So before Bugaboo, I was at Nike for almost a decade, where I worked in different Nike women's categories like running, training, and yoga. And our mission at that time was to encourage girls to make sport a daily habit. And today, translating that into my role, I wake up every day with the mission to empower new parents and mothers and future mothers to discover and enjoy in their next chapter.
That's great. Hi, everyone. I'm Jenifer Dasho. I am the Chief Marketing and Strategy Officer at Everly Health. Everly Health is the parent company to 3 brands. Everly Well is a digital health company focused on diagnostics and treatment and care. Natalist is a fertility and conception brand. And then we have a business B2B solution which services payers and providers. I've been there for about 5.5 years and took the job, started working there because healthcare is really complex. There's a lot of challenges, but there's so much opportunity to bring affordability, convenience, and great care to the market. And we're really excited about what we've been up to and what's to come. And I'm really excited to be on the panel with y'all today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tania Boler, and I started a company called Elvie. So we're a women's health tech company. I'd been working in sexual reproductive health, but it was when I was pregnant for the first time and I realized basically all technology for women is horribly designed. Oh my God, it's a row. Yes, agreeing with me on that one. Are you all okay?
The bird agrees that there wasn't enough tech.
In England, they say if a bird poos on you, it's good luck. So hopefully somebody has good luck today. You're okay. Anyway, Elvie, yes. So we make connected devices. So we've redesigned the breast pump. We launched the first ever silent wearable breast pump and also a smart biofeedback device for women to do their pelvic floor exercises. So essentially neglected taboo issues in women's health, which have had no innovation, no attention. And then we've married that with a very strong feminist brand. Thank you.
Amazing. Okay, so let's kick this off. Jeanelle, I want to ask you. So, you obviously have this background at Nike, launching inclusive product lines, and now, at Bugaboo, you have a predominantly female leadership team and remote team. So you've clearly prioritized empowerment and inclusivity. Could you share what inspired this focus and how you've seen it impact the organizations that you've worked with?
So the driver, the impetus of this was actually 3 years ago. And I was with a different organization. And like so many brands, they were going through a lot of change with the pandemic and making organizational changes. And this also coincided with me being 9 months pregnant and welcoming my son in the middle of the pandemic. And my experience in that situation really informed the lessons that I would later take when I joined Bugaboo and the changes that I wanted to make, both formally and informally. So formally, an example of that was we completely modernized the U.S. handbook. We did things like extend maternity leave and introduce a new policy, which was a reduced hours, part-time return to work plan, where mothers could transition and ease back into the workplace, but receive full pay despite the reduced hours. And then also informally, so culturally, what was our meeting etiquette? I know when my leadership team is doing pickup and drop off and who's doing ballet and who's choosing chess, and we are not scheduling staff meetings or team calls over those times. And what I actually found that is when you have happy and cared for and well individuals, that translates into really high performing teams and ultimately new and creative ways of bringing business to life. So I'm really proud from front to end where we're at now.
Really, really cool. Okay, Donna, with your extensive journey in the cosmetics space, could you illuminate the key moments and insights that have not only shaped your path, but also inspired your leadership at Tarte Cosmetics?
Well, first off, there's two things I like about this question. One, that you said extensive journey. That's a really nice way of saying that I've been around for a very long time. So I'm going to use that. I'm taking that. So sexy, extensive journey. But second, to talk about my career path and what has inspired my leadership, it gives me a chance to really brag about so many powerful women that have been in the beauty industry, that have taken me under their wing, that have poured into me, that have provided expertise and experience and knowledge. And I've really benefited over my career from that mentorship. I've really relied heavily on that tutelage, and I really value their friendships today. And I get that opportunity to do that at Tarte. You know, Tarte is founded by Maureen Kelly, who's a fierce female entrepreneur who's been doing it for 25 years. And so to have the opportunity to pour into others in the same way that I received, to get to mentor, it's really important to me. I find it very rewarding. I think being a mentee is priceless. And so I honor that legacy. And so it's about that for my leadership style. And, you know, if you don't believe me, my senior coordinator, Lizzie, is here in the audience today. And you can totally ask her about my leadership style. Note, her annual review is next week. So I'm sure she's going to be very honest about what an amazing boss I am. But it's been really cool.
That's awesome. Okay, Tania, so in the face of skepticism, such as the early investor feedback, you've championed the necessity of tech that prioritizes women's needs with innovative design. How did you navigate these challenges to transform Elvie into the leading force in the femtech industry?
Well, on the investment side, yeah, at the beginning it was really hard, right? So just zooming out slightly, the first neglected issue we wanted to tackle was pelvic floor health, right? So a lot of women in the audience, you all know what it is, but for anybody, particularly some of the men who might not be aware, but it's very important for women particularly to look after their pelvic floor. And it's not niche, to your point about niche, right? So I keep having investors say this is niche. I'd be like, well, 50% of the population are women. 80% of new moms have pelvic floor issues, and like 30 to 40% of women overall have problems. So it's about using the numbers with the investors. But it was quite binary because the thing is, your pelvic floor wraps around your vagina. So in order to have a technology product which can help you strengthen, it had to go in the vagina. So obviously that's difficult to talk about mostly with male investors. Although in fact, Ashton at the back is one of our investors. So we can ask him how he feels about people pitching about vagina tech. But yeah, at the beginning it was hard, right? So it's about using the numbers. It was trying to make it more human, trying to take the emotion out of it. But ultimately it's binary. Some people wouldn't get it, but enough people were behind us. And obviously once you succeed, success builds upon success. We've raised over $100 million. So the money, and in that, it wasn't just Elvie leading the way with femtech. There were a couple of other companies in the US and Germany which are all saying the same thing, which is we as women, our health needs to be neglected. There's a huge financial opportunity here because ultimately neglect also means opportunity. So the money side was hard at the beginning. And then on the product side, I'm also not an engineer by background. And our products ultimately are medical devices. But this leads to the branding issue. I kind of knew, because I've been working in sexual reproductive health, that in order to change behavior, you have to have that consumer brand, and it needs to be a consumer pull because you want adherence and compliance. So I thought in the UK, how are we going to design a product which actually women want to use and want to talk about organically? So we actually hired engineers from Dyson. 25% of our whole company is ex-Dyson. So if I can get Dyson engineers to look at taboo women's health issues, then you come out with a really magical product that actually solves problems. And that's very much what the brand is built on.
What a great approach. I love that.
I also love that like insider tip, 25% Dyson. That's awesome.
Right? Okay, Jen. So you have had a lot of marketing roles. Tell us how your varied experiences. I didn't say
We're using it.
we're going with it. How have your varied experiences shaped your approach to marketing in the healthcare sector, particularly in making complex health information accessible and engaging to consumers?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think the reason I'm a marketer is because I really love to solve problems. And I actually kind of like to convince people to buy my products, like to win. And I think part of that is making sure that you recognize a problem, you recognize something that exists for people, and that your product is actually a solution. Those two things need to fit. Oftentimes when things fail, it's because there isn't a need, or you sort of force fit into a solution, and that doesn't help anybody. So making sure those two things are right, and then in order for someone to buy your product, they have to understand it. And I think in healthcare, it is so complex. The language and the jargon and the way in which we're spoken to is foreign, right? You're like, it's the only people that understand it are the doctors. And so really just taking a step back and saying, like, if I'm going to do something with this information, if I'm going to be able to take action on this, I have to understand it. And ultimately, our goal is to make sure that people take action on their healthcare. They do something. We want to be a catalyst for action. And so that is listening to people. That's having like a learner's mindset all the time and being really open to feedback. And it's hiring great designers who are really good at translating complex information and presenting it in a way that people can really understand. And then it's the feedback loop over and over and over again, and you never stop listening.
That's awesome. Okay, Jeanelle. Bugaboo sparked a recent collaboration with Kith, a luxury lifestyle brand best known for their sneakers and apparel. Can you share more about what you look for in a brand partnership and how these collaborations contribute to Bugaboo's brand narrative?
Yes, so this year is actually Bugaboo's 25th year anniversary. It's a big one for us. And through the last 25 years, Bugaboo has had a rich history of partnering with unexpected brands. So just to give you an example, the Van Gogh Museum, Missoni, Andy Warhol, reimagining their best known prints into strollers. So the idea for Kith came primarily because it had been almost 5 years since we had collaborated with another brand. And by partnering with Kith, what we did is we reimagined the very well-known distinct Kith color palette into strollers, 4 strollers and an accessory, and everything from the wheels to the aluminum to the fabric to the embossing on the bumper bar, everything was a custom element. And what that did was essentially introduce Bugaboo to a whole new set of future parents that we knew really cared about design and lifestyle, and introduced Bugaboo as a future stroller brand for them. And it was a big success.
That's awesome. Okay, Jenifer, with Everly's recent partnership with Glow Inc., could you share how you envision this collaboration enhancing the support and resources available to women at various stages of preconception, pregnancy, and postpartum journeys?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned at the top, we have a couple brands under our umbrella. One of them is Natalist. Natalist is a fantastic fertility and conception brand founded for women by women, mothers who just were not happy with product design, what was out there to treat them during that time period. And one of the things that I think, every mom out here is most certainly had a very different personal experience, but one thing that we all value is community. and being around people who have experiences and can help us, or we can help. And we love that about Glow. Glow is a fantastic user experience. It has built an incredible community of over 1 million women who are either about to, or in the process, or post-conception on a journey to parenthood. And for us, finding folks where we can tap into that, we have a shared perspective of what it means to support women and their families during this time period. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for partners who share in what we want to do, but provide value. And in the partnership, we've also been able to work with them on new elements in the app. So things like being able to actually track whether or not you're taking your prenatals and other sorts of things. So that's been really cool to see where the two brands coming together can also support each other to bring more value to people throughout the experience. So it's early days, but we're really excited about it. The team's been fantastic, and it's been really nice for the brand.
That's awesome. Okay, Donna, from Trippin' with Tarte influencer trips to its community engagement where it's tapped into teachers to model, can you share insights into the process of creating such a strong sense of community at Tarte?
Yeah, well, first I have to start by saying, Ashton, thank you for investing in our vaginas. I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. But also, to what Jenifer said, community is really important at Tarte. We've created and cultivated a culture of community. For us, community is defined by authentic connections, bound by shared interests to form really strong bonds. You know, we're a social first brand. TikTok has been really huge for us. It's a platform that allows us, has made it fairly easier to connect with people in a way that traditional advertising hasn't. You know, we have these conversations, these insights with hardworking moms and teachers and students and entrepreneurs and our influencers, and all of the millions of followers that come along with them. But it stems from a real genuine place. When I think about teachers, our love for teachers really started. Maureen is the daughter and the sister to teachers, so it was important for her to embrace that community. When I think about our Shape Your Future Small Business Female Entrepreneur Awards, the last 2 years we have met amazing female entrepreneurs and funded and helped provide resources and information to grow their businesses. We have amazing animal rescue organizations that we work with because we're a cruelty-free brand. We work with the Amazon co-ops and celebrate and support women who help us ethically source our ingredients. For us, community is really important because it starts from a place of genuineness, and then we nurture and foster those relationships so that our Tripping with Tarte is just one facet of many multiple things that we do to help build our business. Because I think what we have found as very successful is that we found the beauty in community.
Mic drop right there. That's beautiful. All right, Tania, Elvie stands out as one of the only health tech companies which has managed to build a really engaged community brand. Could you share Elvie's approach to brand campaigning and community building?
Yeah, so I think building on what Jenifer was saying, it is hard for health, right, or health tech to build a brand. Often it's the doctor-patient relationship, the doctor's controlling that information. And often also with health, you have a disease, you have a yucky problem you don't really want to talk about. So that's also hard in terms of how to create that consumer pull. So our two categories, breast pumps and pelvic floor health, neither of them, well, breast pump category, really boring, you know, lots of images of happy babies and so on. Pelvic floor health, yucky health issues you don't want to talk about, bladder problems and so on. So I suppose the way we looked at it right from the beginning was we need women to get behind this, right? We're solving a problem for women. So pelvic floor health, turn it on its head. It's not a yucky health problem or something to do with sex or so on. It's part of being a woman, and we need to own that. So our sort of first logo was all around my most personal trainer. And then when we wanted to launch it, we were like, well, who? And this is 8 years ago, right? Which celebrity is open to talking about pelvic floor or vagina health? And Gwyneth Paltrow came to mind. We knew if we got her one, it would take time because she literally used to test every product for Goop. I don't know if she does anymore, but once she used it, she absolutely loved it. She launched it on Goop. We sold out within a few hours. And again, it sounds kind of obvious when you talk about it, in this post-hoc way, but at the time, the idea of a medical device like that launching on Goop was quite unusual. Breast pumps as well, just such a boring brand positioning. We were like, how can we add a bit of glamour? So we actually launched at London Fashion Week, and we had a model walk down the catwalk and then reveal she's pumping at the same time. And actually that whole way that we were able to show that women can just be super women. We've literally had women showing on Instagram, performing surgery, running a marathon, even somebody getting married who got her wedding dress altered whilst pumping. This idea of I can give breast milk to my baby. So it's that thing of switching a negative taboo issue and creating something that's positive and empowering. And that's what's really worked. And then to your point about community, I know it sounds cheesy, but if you genuinely do solve problems for women, and our problems are so intimate and hidden that you have such trust already, and then it's sort of been building on that.
They also produced an amazing music video that is on my creative inspiration board, has been on there for years and years and years. If you haven't seen it, please Google it. It is some of the best marketing I've ever seen.
Thank you.
That's awesome. All right, Jeanelle, how do you use consumer insights to innovate Bugaboo strollers? And what's changing? What are modern families looking for nowadays?
Yeah, so to expand on Tania's example, I think the formula that we use a very similar formula at Bugaboo, which is taking the insight, what is a problem, creating a product to solve that problem, and then presenting it in a way using storytelling that has the consumer connect with it. So insights are at the heart of everything that we do at Bugaboo. And what we know right now from the data is that modern families are really looking for two things. They're looking for a lightweight stroller that's easy to fold. And so you'll see that in our most recent two launches, the Bugaboo Dragonfly, which is perfect for city families, and the Bugaboo Butterfly, which you can take on an airplane. That's the way I describe it. And I can tell you all day long, it's a 1 second fold, it's a 1 second fold. But actually, until we present it in a way that's a use case scenario. So imagine a city mom pushing her baby towards the subway. She's just gone grocery shopping. The underseat basket is full of groceries. She's able to take the groceries out, hold the groceries, take the baby out, fold the stroller with one hand, walk downstairs with zero help, unfold it with one hand, then put the baby back in, and then catch a subway. Then she says, I want it. Yes, I understand how that problem, I understand the solution to this problem. And so just to summarize, it's taking an insight, creating a product fueled by that insight, and then presenting it in a way that storytells and connects with the consumer. And that's what we do.
You're giving me PTSD from the baby days and remembering it all.
Yeah, it is so hard, and we just try and make it a little bit easier.
That's all we need.
That's all we need.
That's great. Okay, Jenifer, with Everly Health's expansive suite of at-home lab tests and virtual care services ranging from chronic disease management to reproductive health support, how do you see your company transforming the healthcare landscape?
Hopefully we're setting a really high bar and in partnership with y'all of all the things to come. There's so much great stuff coming in digital health right now, but one of the things we've been really focused on, so Everly Well, which is the lab testing business, has been around for about 9 years. We were founded here in Austin, and for quite some time, we offered this broad suite of tests, but our services sort of stopped after the test result. So we heard from our customers time and time again, this is so easy, it's so convenient, it's so affordable, I can fit it into my life. But even though I can understand incredibly more clearly what is happening in my body, I don't know what to do with this information. And so we actually spent all of last year building, for the most part from the ground up, a digital health platform that's going to allow us and has allowed us to take a lab test result, pair it with telehealth, pair it with treatment and prescription where appropriate, and complete the cycle for people within our user experience. And so we now offer a tremendous amount of support for chronic condition management. So that is things like diabetes, cholesterol, weight care. We've expanded and begun to offer memberships for folks who are looking for a more of an opportunity to put their wellness on sort of autopilot. And it's been really, I think, powerful for the whole organization to finally get to realize ultimately the full value of what we think we bring to the table. But also, whenever you can deliver on the thing that your customers have asked for over and over and over again, that feels absolutely incredible. So that's been our focus. It's really kind of how do we go from a transactional relationship with our customers, buy a test, you're done, to a relationship with them and really care for them over the long term and provide more longitudinal care.
That's awesome. All right, Tania, how does Elvie innovate to fill gaps in women's health with products like the small breast pumps or the pelvic floor trainers? And what challenges have you faced in launching these devices?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned some of the challenges early on. No funding, no category. The word femtech didn't even exist. No science, no way to market it, and so on.
So just a couple.
Just a few
Yeah,
things.
but I suppose if I just zoom out slightly and think about femtech, which is now known as women's health tech, it's this word which has come in about 6-7 years ago, and even though it's not a perfect name, it's particularly useful actually for investors, right? Because now it can be valued, so they're saying it's going to be worth 50 billion in the future, and so on. And what we're seeing, which is amazing, is a lot of innovation, right? So anything from first period, even past last period through to menopause, these are all issues that have been neglected by technology. So most of the money has actually gone to fertility, something that obviously Jenifer's working on as well, because that's an existing category. And even breast pumps is an existing category. So when you're disrupting an existing category from a marketing challenges point of view, it's hard, but it's, there's a playbook in some ways. I think what's hard for the rest of women's health tech is a lot of these issues, they're taboo, they're stigmatized, there's a lack of knowledge, right? So endometriosis, polycystic ovary syndrome, 1 in 10 women will be suffering, and yet it'll take on average 7 years for them to get a diagnosis. So when you're looking at it from a branding or marketing point of view, you're creating a new category, you've got to create demands, and that invariably just takes longer and costs a lot more. So I'd say that's the biggest challenge I see for the whole femtech sector, is that you need patient investors, and we need to be given, like anything, you need to be able to fail, right? It's not going to be clear how you're going to market certain health issues which have never been marketed before and are highly stigmatized. But we'll get there.
We'll get there. Jeanelle, the I'm a Bugaboo mom sentiment captures a strong brand loyalty and word of mouth that many companies aspire to. How does Bugaboo cultivate this level of consumer advocacy?
So I think one of my favorite things about this job is if I'm at a dinner or at an event and I'll mention to someone that I work at Bugaboo, and then the mom will say, I was a Bugaboo mom, but her kids are now 16, 17, and 18 years old. And she will go on about how the stroller helped her for multiple children. And then she was able to gift the stroller to her neighbor, sister, cousin. And then they used the stroller for their children and passed it on. And that longevity and quality and ability to serve multiple children is what Bugaboo is famous for. And happy parents are our biggest brand ambassadors. That word of mouth we were talking about, Donna, is so strong in the baby and the parenting space.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most social sectors. Yeah. Moms are wanting to share and.
Yes, absolutely. I think parenting and beauty, if you have a product that works for you, then you're going to tell your friends about it. This is the one that you need. And so indeed, happy moms they talk about it years and years after being out of the stroller age.
Yeah. Okay, Tania, with Elvie's All Boobs Welcome Here benches, which I freaking love, can you share the impact this campaign has had on public perception and the broader movement to normalize breastfeeding in public?
Thank you. So as I was saying, with women's health tech, you need to do demand generation, which basically means you also need to change the conversation. And it's both obviously needed from a commercial point of view to build your brand, to create that demand. But also I think Elvie, we are a mission-driven company. My background was working, as I said, in women's health non-for-profit before. So it's all about how do we empower women through technology, but also through education. So we launched quite a lot of public campaigns which are provocative and bold, and that's our brand. So the one that Heather you were mentioning, so basically a lot of women, and particularly in Europe, will stop breastfeeding early, before their actually desired time to breastfeed, because of embarrassment and shame breastfeeding in public. So we created a special breastfeeding or breast pumping bench, which was sort of more comfortable that you could put your arm on, but also quite beautiful designed, strong colors. And we just had actually one bench, and we launched it first in Brussels. and then Amsterdam and Paris. But from a branding marketing point of view, it's phenomenal sort of success in terms of earned media, so over 250 articles and so on. But even more importantly, the government in Belgium is now launching their own version of the breastfeeding benches everywhere, which is great. And actually, because what we also find, we've partnered here in Austin with the Equality Lounge, so the female quotient. So over at Waller Creek Boathouse, we've also put up a breastfeeding bench because we find often in these sort of environments there's not an inclusive environment for women.
That's awesome. All right, Donna, last question goes to you.
Wow.
No pressure.
No pressure.
How do Tarte's authentic initiatives like the Trip In with Tarte or the teacher initiative that you did, how do those shape engagement and loyalty and the emotional, like, the relatability within its community?
Yeah, well, so literally fresh off the plane from our last trip in with Tarte in Bora Bora. I apologize in advance. All these birds came with me from Tahiti. So they're waiting for me to be done. No, but I will tell you, our trip in with Tartes have been famously infamous and infamously famous. But the objective has never been about building loyalty. The objective has always been about making real connections and forming real relationships with creators that have supported our brand and have helped us. We're also celebrating 25 years this year. Sounds like we need a Bugaboo and Tarte collaboration of some sort.
Let's do it.
Maracuja juicy lip hanging off the side. But I think it's really been interesting because we have been having really meaningful engagement on these trips. The influencers are coming, but they're also bringing their friends and family members, which is not normal. Most of these influencer trips that other brands do, they're not allowed to bring a +1, or if they have a +1, it has to be like another influencer. We don't have those rules. We don't require them or obligate them to post anything. Everything comes from an organic place. We had moms on this trip celebrating their 50th birthday. We had girl dads on this trip. We had boyfriends and best friends and sisters, and we were sharing pictures of our children. We were exchanging pics of our pets, and we had really meaningful conversations about how to grow their careers and pitfalls to avoid and what they should be doing because we both wanted this exchange of information. What's working on TikTok for our brand? What's working for TikTok on your platform? How can we help each other? And through these conversations and these interactions, the support has been really amazing, not just with this group, but with across all of social media, with their followers now checking in on what they're doing. And they want to support us and we want to support them. And, some of the things that are said about our trip in with Tartes is that they're very lavish. But, from a marketing spend and a marketing strategy, a marketing budget, it's a fraction of the cost of some of the other forms of traditional advertising. Let's say like a 30-second Super Bowl ad, like ours is a drop in the bucket. But what we're gaining is priceless. It's like these real connections. And the same goes for our teachers, Maureen looked at stats one night in bed and saw that public school teachers spend a huge portion of their own money to buy basic school supplies to support students who don't have the means. And she went immediately into action. They create these Amazon school supplies lists, hoping that their friends and family members will help offset some of the funding that they have to do out of their own pocket to buy school supplies for their classrooms. And so she went in and went on Amazon and independently started clearing Amazon wish lists over and over again, tunes of tens of thousands of dollars of her own money, and then took that passion and brought it into purpose, brought it to the brand and said, how do we support? We were fully on board. We started coming up with ideas and initiatives. This last summer, we had Teacher Tuesdays, and where we invited New York City teachers in the metro area to come down to our headquarters office every single Tuesday and get glam and get makeup and get product and school supplies and just get pampered. And thousands of teachers came. Our security guards in our building hate us, but the teachers love us. But But it was really, really rewarding. Just this past month, we had a celebration for educators where we honored 4 teachers doing extraordinary work both inside and outside the classroom. And again, and they received $10,000 grants each to help continue their work, their extraordinary, inspiring work. But that's really where it comes from. And then, so like the commercial stuff, the business stuff, that comes naturally. The conversation is about our beauty brand and our products is almost secondary. And to your points about trust and building trust, that's what we're trying to do, so that when you're trying to figure out what lip gloss should I wear on my first date, or what concealer should I use for my job interview, or what mascara am I going to put on for my Get Ready With Me social post, that conversation that we have with them about our brand becomes less about a brand talking to a consumer and more about like 2 besties just having a chat, because we've established a real authentic connection with them and they want to support us because we want to support them. And so for us, it's really important to have like these 4 things. Like, we want to show up, we want to share interests, we want to strengthen the relationships, and we just want to support each other. At Tarte, we have this saying that like we all rise together when we lift others up, and I couldn't better show those examples than the things that we've done, not only with teachers and our influencers, but with entrepreneurs and animal rescue and all of that. And I love that your mom is here, like videoing you, cheering you on. She's gorgeous. Like those are the things that make us feel good. Those are the things that fill our cup. And I'm really excited to be here and like be able to share all of that with you guys. And I love working at Tarte, if it doesn't show already. And thank you, birds, for not killing anybody. So I appreciate that.
That was a beautiful way to end. Thank you so much. You guys are all really inspiring. It's awesome. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. What a wonderful panel. Thank you.